Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Chelsea 2, Everton 2. A hard fought 0.1 at Stamford Bridge. And a good result to take into the international weekend ahead of obviously coming back to play Spurs. And yeah, you know, the way sort of the game was playing out in the first 15 minutes or so, you know, to get 2 goals at the end of it and get a point. Delighted with that personally, Baz.
Yeah, good results. Obviously, being behind twice and coming back. It's a place we don't win at. We haven't won this since 1994, but we have had 13 draws in 28 games there in the league. So, you know, drawn almost half the games there. So we do all right, but we stuck at it, didn't we? We didn't start the game particularly well, but for the first half was very much like the Emirates performance, I thought, against Arsenal. And it was always going to be, we were going to sit in and try and make it difficult for them and then try to counter-attack. But, you know, in the end, we showed good resilience and have come back twice to grab a big point, because at this stage, all of these points, everything you add on, ultimately is a good one. And for a game that going behind twice, many people would have just written it off the second time we went behind us. We were going to lose it, so good. Yeah,
obviously he went with the same team that beat Brentford the week before. No real surprises. Obviously, no Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the bench, but no surprise at all that he kept the same team.
No, because
obviously Michalenko could have come back, but
I think Godfrey obviously just had a clean sheet the week before. I think Godfrey's pace always gives him an opportunity of getting in the side, and he's tough physically, he's big as well, isn't he? So I know Michalenko gives you more balance with because it's left-footed, but I think he's thinking about the pace of Pulisic on that side as well at times, and Godfrey does have the good recovery pace. Reece James is very strong and it is quick down that side, so that's why he went with it. And again, I think for Sean Dyche, if you get in and you do all right, you stay in. That tends to be how he picks his teams, really. So no real surprises that he didn't change it.
Yeah, he does strike me if it's not broken, don't try and fix it. And yeah, you know, the first half it felt like a very familiar pattern, didn't it? Going to a away game and against a team that obviously portrayed as someone obviously better players and doing all right, even though Chelsea are in a weird place at the moment. But it just felt like a game I'd seen a million times in the last like 20 years. And to be fair, in the first half, bar the one that flashed past Jordan Pickford's post from the corner, I didn't really feel like they offered too much. And even that one, when he volleyed it wide, I think if he'd volleyed that on target, it probably would have hit one of our plays anyway, because we had a lot of plays in the box. But it just, I suppose it's trying to get out of that mindset, isn't it? And you need more evidence, obviously, as we go along, and this game maybe showed more evidence of that. It is tough when you're just watching a game and there's no real joy in it, because it is all about, you just feel like you're clinging on, and we do have that mentality, don't we, of if they score, this game's over. And I suppose for all of it, it's about breaking that mentality, and it can be joyless at times watching Everton away from home, can't it? It just feels like you're just hanging on. But at least there's a game. There was like you said, like against Arsenal, same kind of game plan, and you're just waiting for maybe a moment or something to drop. It never quite happened in the first half for us, but obviously we kept them out at the same time.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you're absolutely right. We've watched this movie many times before, and that's not being critical of what Everton were trying to do. It's just the way it is. It's Sean Dyche hasn't been here for 20 years, and we've done it 20 years. It just is the way it is. We don't have good attacking players, so therefore we can't. We haven't ever been in a position, certainly in the last 10 or 15 years, where we've really took the game to. Although saying that under Martinez, we that 3-3, didn't we? Which ultimately we should have won. But in general, we've gone there and tried to be compact and seen what we can get. No problem with that. But we have seen that many times before. But just right now, that's what we've got to do. They've got better players than us. we've got to go and hang on in games and see what we can nick. There's no point going and being overly expansive and being 3-0 down because they just cut us open, and then we're like, oh, well, that wasn't very good. We know the limitations of this squad. We know the limitations of this team. It's all right now about being united and being together and working hard. And if we can break, seeing what we can create. And you're right, we didn't really have too much in the first half of note.
Did that disappoint you at all? Because I felt like there were opportunities to get at Chelsea on Saturday, and I just felt like in the first half you've got Gray and it's an out ball with pace, but I think you have to join in, don't you, with a player like that? You have to get players up and around them, and I felt like that was something that we didn't really do in the first half. Dwight McNeil went on a little run where he beat one and then sort of runs into the defender who ends up kicking it off Gray, I think it was, ironically, and goes out for a goal kick. But we just didn't have enough moments where we got too many people joining in on a counter attack. And again, I am sure that's part of the mentality to stay in the game as long as you can and not stretch the game, because that will only benefit the home team as such. But I just thought there was times there, and I'd say it might be part of the game plan, but if you're going to have an outball, you have to still get people around them and support them.
Yeah, because Gray, what you want to do with Gray is get him on the run. There's no point playing into him to hold it, because we're not running past him. I know Doucoure is trying to do it more, but the advantage of Damari Gray is you want to play one in the side so we can spin into that space, and especially the way Chelsea play, they have gaps in between where you can get at them. Koulibaly, we saw that second half. Badiashile as well was leaving a lot of space if we could have got in, and there was a couple of moments where we just didn't play the right pass, or Iwobi held onto it a little bit too long instead of speeding things up, and when we did get in round the back, the crosses weren't good enough. But that's nitpicking. There's a game plan, and the game plan is to stay, not give them any space. So the players are thinking, well, I can't leave gaps in behind me. You'd like to, listen, we're in a predicament that we have to try to get out of. For the team to move forward and become more expansive, then that comes next. That everybody does have to join in. You see teams like Brighton who work it through or whatever, or it might be a fast counter attack from like Brentford who go from one end of the pitch to the other. We're just stuck in a midst at the moment where we have got to just grind out things, and that was where we were. But when you're playing against good sides, you do have to pick your moments. Yeah. In the first half, when we got them opportunities, we played the wrong ball. Yeah,
and it is about staying in the game as long as possible, isn't it? I mean, that's ultimately what I imagine he preaches to them, and there will be changes of how we play during the game, and they have to be, that'll be things we learn as we go along. We just don't have enough evidence at the moment to maybe understand the different scenarios that will come up under Sean Dyche. So we got through the first half. There weren't too many moments I was worried about things getting flashed across the box and all that typical stuff. But we come out second half, and as they probably thought, again, they'd probably been told to up it a little bit, and the goal when it came, it was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? Because the ball comes in, it's the defending's a little bit lazy. You look at Iwobi's position. Could Iwobi have been a little bit closer to when that ball drops? It's a decent finish, but even with the finish, even when you look at it, there's a player that could possibly be standing in an offside position, standing in front of Jordan Pickford and blocking his views. But yeah, it was a disappointing goal to concede anyway.
Yeah, it was a poor goal. It was a poor clearance from Mathew. But it started before then, and it starts really with Ghana. That's the where Chelsea get the freedom from. If we just have a look, we've got some of the stills here. So this is the switch. They've been knocking it around for a little bit. The switch is on, which they do. You can see I've circled João Felix, as they call him now. Who before they started was stood alongside Ghana, and Ghana lets him run in behind. If you just take it on again, the switch goes over to Chilwell. You can have got Felix circled there. Ghana's nowhere to be seen here, and this is Ben Chilwell's just about to volley this across. We move it on one. Michael Keane with a flat-footed clearance, really. He has to do better than that. And again, I've got Felix circled Garner now. The space between them is too wide. Take it on again. Felix is onto it. He's closed it a little bit, and he's getting it out of his feet here. And then the next one is him getting the shot away. And Garner's quite close. And what you think then, that goes through, it's lucky it goes through Tarkowski's legs. It's the inside of the post and goes in. But if Garner's more aware where Felix is straight away, he can track that run. And therefore he's closer to him and he can pick it up. And it's those moments there. And it might not look like a big thing, but they're the key moments where a player can just switch off.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of a run on it. And for most of the game, Everton were switched on with that. But for that moment, he switches off. Keane's got to do better for me off the cross. And the ball ends up in the back of the net. And you're thinking, if they've carved you open, you go fair play. Yeah. But it was something that would have been avoidable.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what talented players do, don't they? They get between the lines.
And he was their most threatening player.
They get between the lines and they do it. And then not long after that, you just think, Pulisic puts one in the back of the net, and for that split second, you're like, oh, we've.
No,
I know, but you never know, do you? You never know. But that split second, you think, oh, we're gonna.
Here we go.
Yeah, we've fell, but obviously it was clear offside. But
finished it well, though, didn't he?
Yeah. But listen, we got ourselves sorted, and
we should have woke up though when it went 1-0.
This is the thing, isn't it? This is the thing, isn't it? I do wonder, because when we went 1-0 down, I was thinking, well, we're not going to get back in the game playing like this. And have we got anything on the bench? But he changed things up, and suddenly, and it felt like it really. Well, it didn't. To me, it didn't feel like we'd woke up. It felt like it was almost like, well, we've tried that way to get out the game with a point. We've gone behind, which could happen, and now we've got this. And the way we changed it, I was really encouraged by that. That suddenly we were on the front foot, and suddenly we were playing attacking football, and suddenly we'd gone from playing a style which was just staying in the game and just being part of it, and the next minute we're having a go, and we're getting higher up the pitch, and more players are getting higher up the pitch, and we're forcing things. And there was just a couple of little moments. There was one where Tarkowski had it sort of flicked off his head. Michael Keane the same.
Keane was
just
the big one.
Things going across the goal, and you're thinking, we've upped it, and actually we've pushed them back, and we're giving these a little bit of a. It was almost like rope-a-dope, but it took us going behind to get us to come off, and then obviously that led to more set pieces, and then eventually leads to the goal.
Yeah. When I say woke up, I meant freed us up. Really, we kind of just went. We're now going to attack, and we had more opportunities. Michael Keane's got to do better with the one across the near. He connects with that properly. That's in the net. And then we have the corner on one side, and it's whipped in and out. Onana rises. He really should be hitting the target, but skins off his head. It's a Chelsea player and goes out for the corner. And then we did do the back post corner, which has brought us a lot of joy. Dwight McNeil, back post, great first header by Tarkowski. The Corey's ran into a great position. He gets the flick, and it's 1-1. And you see how many players and how big we are. It's no wonder we're causing issues now off set plays. And the Corey, great run for him. It's clearly over the line. There's nothing better than seeing the referee go like that when it's for you. The buzzer on his arm, and it was happy days. And it was great because you knew that he couldn't be offside. And you could actually celebrate. So, brilliant that the resilience which Sean Dyche seems to be instilling in them. Not to just let your knees buckle when they concede that first goal. We were brave enough to take the game onto them. We got our rewards with the equaliser.
No, it was just really nice. It was nice to see. It was just nice to see us actually respond in a game of football. Because you mentioned earlier the Arsenal game. I suppose with the Arsenal game, what was different was we were getting into half time, and then a silly mistake cost us, and before you know it, it's 2-0. And that's what those mistakes. How important they can be in a game of football, and why, again, you'll go back to the Villa game and Connor Cody letting a play skip past them, splash it in, and in that moment, you're like, oh God, silly mistake. But when you take a step back and go, well, there's plenty of time left in that game as well. Those little mistakes, and but the Corey, again had a good game. Good to see him on the score sheet again. Let's just have a little look at his numbers. It's 29 touches, 1 goal, 1 assist, key passes, 2 big chances created, 1, and he really is benefiting obviously from Sean Dyche. Well, he's benefiting because he's playing football, but we're seeing more of, I think, him in his natural position, more higher up the pitch, almost being that he is that second striker at times. Just, you know, the other two are allowed to do their work, and he's, you know, he's not massively creative, but he just brings a body in there, and again pops up second away game in a row, gets a goal off staying alive on a set piece.
Full Barry Gibb there. Full Barry Gibb. Listen, he's been good. He got back in the side, new lease of life. Energised by Sean Dyche. You know, didn't want to leave Everton. Obviously fell out with the manager. Wouldn't play him. Looked like he was on his way out the club. And has got back in the side, and he's been good. And he was good again at the weekend. Covers a lot of ground, doing what he did for Watford now, which was breaking into the box, being in the box. He's a big lad, so he's difficult to mark at times. And he's got a natural. He's one of the few in our team who can score goals. You know, his career at Watford proved that. You know, average 6 a season from that central position, breaking. We've not used him in that role. When we've needed to, and Dyche is fair play to him, he's pushed them up, and he is benefiting from it, and he is all over the place. Sometimes his passing's erratic, sometimes he gives the ball away cheaply, but if you're using him, if you've got the insurance behind him of Onana and Garner, then it's not as bad for him to give the ball away. And because of those runs into the box, and he is big, he's going to take people with him as well. So even if he doesn't get the contact, people have got to mark him. We saw that at Forest, and we saw it Saturday, and then he came up with the assist as well. So another good game for him, and he's found his feet in this midfield, and he's doing well. Long may it continue.
Definitely. But then obviously, listen, 7 minutes later, we shoot ourselves in the foot as well, don't we? We looked comfortable after the goal went in, and you know, didn't really feel like there was too much. You know, they had a little few moments. Jordan Pickford had to make a save off a header, and just nothing really.
Routine.
Nothing really. You know, they weren't really stretching us. They weren't really putting us to the sword.
Played in front of us.
Yeah,
didn't
we were getting enough men back, and then the one time they get in behind us, and again, it starts with giving the ball away. It starts with Iwobi giving a simple pass away in the other half position.
It was Iwobi on the halfway line, and we've got the ball, and there's a bit of build up on the right hand side, and he's got it on the halfway line, and he's doing his little 3 drag backs, you know, instead of just getting it out of his feet. Maybe if there's nothing on, just play it down the line and get Gray after it. And he hits it under. We just got away with an under hit one, and it come back. We won it back, and then he gets it, and he rolls one, and they just nick and go. And then obviously we're not set. We still get enough bodies back, but they just play a little 1-2, and Godfrey loses Reece James in behind him, and then, as Tarkowski said at the end, Ben left it for him, and he left it for him, and the lad got in between the two of them, and it was a blatant penalty. He takes him out, and you just think, we've just battled to get back into the game, and we've gone and done that from us having the ball. Again, if they build up, break, they get it and build up and work it, and they score a good goal, you go, good goal, lad. Yeah. When it comes from you giving the ball away cheaply, it's frustrating.
No, I mean, listen, if he gives the ball away, trying to find a clever pass that gets you away or something, and you're a little bit higher up the pitch, but it's a common theme. It's not. This is not us sitting here going, oh well, he's give the ball away in the opposition half, and there's still loads to do. You've got it. We know we have to be more careful with it. We know we have to look after the ball. And if you play an infield pass against good players and they just take the ball,
especially if you're not set.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
You're trying to break.
You're trying to break. You've got players going forward. If anyone's like the Doucoure one, you shouldn't find yourself overloaded. And you know, and you know, listen, Godfrey's real problem is obviously he's not a natural fullback. I don't even know if he's a natural defender, but Reece James in control that situation and makes the most of that situation. And as you say, then before you know, we've conceded a penalty, and you know he puts the penalty away, and you're 2-1 down, and you're thinking, well, we had our shot, we had our opportunity, and we've just blown it. You're not gonna come back twice. The manager responded. He made subs. He took Garner off, you know, straight away. Put Simms on, and then as actually, you know, took Seamus Coleman off. Swapped over Ben Godfrey, put Michalenko to get a bit more balance in there. And again, I suppose that's where good managers make their money, isn't it? You know, I remember Moyes used to take, used to change the centre midfielders to, you know, almost to allow Fellaini, put a centre midfield on to a defensive one, and everyone would be like, "What are you doing?" But it would allow Fellaini to go further higher, and this is where managers make the money in it. I think where Chelsea just didn't. Or I don't think they do, but they didn't have that killer instinct to go for it. They almost felt like they were comfortable with the 2-1, and I just felt like the game was ebbing away, and that obviously played into our favour. I didn't think, you know, some teams will go, bang, we're going to go for that third, and let's kill this game while these are down, because these are chasing the goal now. The game just sort of, it didn't quite peter out, but they didn't feel like there was an edge to it. Almost felt like they were quite happy with the 2-1. I don't think Chelsea, the crowd itself, isn't a crowd where it's like, probably half of them had packed up their lunch boxes and gone home by that point, because you've got to catch the, you know, the tube to wherever they're going. So
I just don't think they've got that in them at the moment. That drive, they haven't got the centre forward who's ruthless, wants to go. I know Potter plays a different way, and it'll take them time. They're not at the free flowing, you know, best at the moment. Which is what he'll be trying to get. So Everton obviously were able to put a little bit of pressure on again, but it was, you know, we'd had a shot. Simms had a shot already, hadn't he? And we were, you know, there was that one where, is it Damari Gray as the shot that fizzes just wide?
Dwight McNeil,
sorry. And if the keeper gets a hand on it, Simms has got to tap in from a couple of yards out, you know, when it whizzes past Kepa, can't get anything on it. And then the goal does come, actually, because Michalenko's got the left foot and he can get it forward, and he plays it. We'll just have a look at the thing here. I've got the stills here. So Michalenko's knocked this one forward. You see Doucoure, the ball about to arrive to Doucoure. I've got Ellis Simms circled there. Now, if Doucoure kills this and takes a touch, the chance might go to get Simms on the run, because he might slow the game down. We just take it on. What he does really.
But they'll think in that position when that ball comes to Doucoure, they've got, you know,
they've got the four back.
They've got the four,
there's the angle,
and they've got a runner with Doucoure.
But what you've got here, Doucoure's just got to play that ball in between the two. It's already left his foot in this instant, but that's where he's playing it, in the side. We go again. It's on to Ellis Simms, so it's on his feet. Now he's just got to attack up the line. He's just got to attack that space. We take it on again. He does. He shrugs Koulibaly over as he goes past him with the strength. Next one on is right. Can you finish into that corner? He opens his body up and obviously takes the shot. It ends up in the back of the net. And it was a brilliant way for him coming on as a sub and getting himself involved, doing that thing that we know Ellis Simms can do, which is finish. That, you know, but it was a good ball, Michalenko, and it is that first time pass from Doucoure just to steer that into that gap, and then it's Simms. Come on then. Instead of me giving it to you with your back to goal, I'll give you one where you can actually use your strength, which is the power. And he's held Koulibaly's a big lad. He's just held him off. And then it is, I'll go across the keeper. Okay, on other days he might bend that one round the keeper. Doesn't matter. If you hit it low and in the corner, you've got a chance. And it's a tremendous moment for the kid, you know, first Premier League goal. But we know that that's what he can do, Ellis Simms. The other bits, can he do then? Sean Dyche alluded to it after the game. He's not ready. The lad himself has asked him, you know, what can I improve on, and give him the things. You've got to do the off the ball work. That's your first thing. Yeah. If I haven't got the ball, am I affecting the game in some way? You know, when I have got the ball, if it's into my chest or my feet, can I keep it for us and let us build? And then when we're breaking, am I putting pressure on? Am I giving my midfielder an option to get me into the areas I want to get it? Ellis Simms wants to be in that position with the ball. So how does he get there? He can't hope you get that once or twice in a game and not do anything else. That you're not getting in a 30. You're certainly not getting in a Sean Dyche team by standing around. And that has been a criticism at the 21 level. And I know we started trying to address it at Blackpool. He's done a bit more at Hearts and Sunderland. Premier League, you've got to do it even more. But what a great first goal, and a huge goal for us on the day.
Yeah, it's a big moment for him. But like you just said there, it's important not to get carried away by anyone, because our players don't find themselves in that position enough in terms of general play. And you're right, for 65, 70 minutes as an Everton striker at the moment, you've got to be selfless. And he's still got a lot to prove in that manner. But what we know is he can put the ball in the back of the net. That's muscle memory.
Yeah.
That's the stuff he's been doing. Blackpool, at Hearts, at Sunderland. You need obviously a little bit more quality in the Premier League to do that. But he's left the defender for dead. Koulibaly, who's rated as one of the best defenders in the world, for dead, and he's hit the target, and that's all what we say. That might have got on another day the goalie might save that, but you hit the target, you take it quick, where the goal is, and you do it. And what he might have done now is give himself the confidence, give the manager the confidence to elevate him, to say, right, we're bringing you on for 20 minutes to go, and we know you can do that now. So we're going to work scenarios and situations so that you can get into those areas. Just give the manager something to think about, and that's all he can do.
Do you know what I liked as well with the goal was great, and getting across was brilliant and all that, but the one that I just spoke about before, when Dwight McNeil's had that shot, he's in the right place at the right time. Somewhere where Haaland is, watching Haaland again against Burnley yesterday, and his hat-trick goal, it was in the right place. And Neil Maupay's never in the right place, and that's the difference between someone who's a goal scorer and someone who's more of like a link striker. Ellis Simms is in the right area when McNeil takes that shot. Like I said, if Kepa saves it and he goes for it, if he gets a hand on it, it's only going one place, and Ellis Simms is in that place for a tapping. Centre forwards, or goal scorers rather, take themselves into areas where they can put the ball in the net just naturally, because it's just an innate thing of what you do. You don't think, I will walk into that area. Yes, you can do all a bit before and go, I need to get myself around the 6-yard box, but they have a tendency to drift into the right. Harry Kane's probably the best at it, drifts into the right areas. Ellis Simms has got that. I don't think Maupay's got it. Damari Gray hasn't got it because he's a winger, so he's doing a patch-up job for us. Dom had to be told to go there, and when he did, he got a lot of goals. But I think that's what Simms has got that the others haven't got. He's got to do all the other bits.
Well, it's as I said there, it's scenarios, isn't it? It's the manager understanding how many situations in a game we create those moments. And maybe the manager felt in this one he was. Listen, if you put Maupay in that situation, what would he have really done? And that's where the manager's got to look at it. You can understand, like last week when we were 1-0 up at home, 1-0 up, don't lose the lead. So what you want to put a responsible player on like Maupay, and that's the manager is thinking at the moment, because I've heard people go, oh, next game let's go 2 up top, and it's like, well, yeah, you could do that if you want. But then you'd be one less in midfield, and you've got to pick up which one that is, and how much control do we lose by having it. So, it's, as I said, it's a brilliant moment. We've capitalised on our one sort of chance that we've created, and we've created it. And as I said, it was almost like a perfect moment, because Chelsea again, it felt like the last 10 minutes they decided, oh, we'll make a few like sort of showy subs here and that kind of thing, and they switched off. And fair play, we've made the most of the moments. It's like, who takes a centre back off with 3 minutes to go? Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. What? I don't get. I mean, by the way, I'm not.
The centre back off and put a centre back on, didn't he? But even so,
like things like that, I don't. We took full advantage of them, sort of going, this is a bit of a, we'll bring a couple on, take a couple off, sort of thing. I didn't get that, so we made the most of it. But obviously we got the goal, we got it right at the right time, because obviously we were just going into the 90 minutes, and they got a sequence of corners. We dealt with it again.
One of them, the last one wasn't a corner.
It wasn't a corner, and that's why I felt like they were going to score from it. But we dealt with them. We dealt with them brilliantly. you know, and a big part of that was James Tarkowski. Let's have a look at his numbers. So obviously 1 assist, 7 clearances, 7 block shots, 2 tackles, and big chances created 1. I believe that the 7 blocks was the most in Europe this year or something like that for one player. But his all-round stats in terms of Michael Keane's numbers. Michael Keane dealt with everything in the air, because I looked at the numbers on Saturday while I was doing the player ratings. It's like basically Michael Keane deals with everything in the air, and Tarkowski is there to do everything else. And I think that's why he's in instead of Cody, is that Michael Keane's job is to do everything in the air, and Tarkowski's got a lot more rounded numbers than Keane. Keane is like, there's one like, Keane doesn't even go in for one challenge on the ground.
Well, Michael Keane's at the attacking aerial duels, won 100% of them, 2 out of 2. Ball recoveries, 9, more than anyone else on the pitch. I mean, tackles, he's nowhere near because he doesn't put tackles in. Tarkowski's 7 blocks. Tarkowski's 7 blocks, the next most, 1 from either team. Michael Keane, 11 clearances out of 11. Header clearances, 8 out of 8. Defensive aerial duels, 2 out of 3. So Michael Keane did have a good game,
but if anyone's
he should have dealt with the cross better.
But if anyone's asking like sort of why he's in and over Cody, I think those numbers are why, because it feels like, whereas beforehand it was like Tarkowski was having to fight every fire. Now it's like they've almost been assigned, Michael Keane, you're good in the air, you're good at duels, so we'll put you in for them, and Tarkowski can deal with them with a lot more of the actual general defending, so we don't get ourselves in situations like we said before, like Villa's second goal, where we don't get, so we're not in those kind of situations. But overall, listen, it's a really good point. It's a boost. 3 games unbeaten, a couple of draws away from home, scoring more goals than we were. Our XG, I believe, is something like under Sean Dyche, something like top 4.
I've got it now, including a 1-0 win over Arsenal at the beginning of February. Everton have accumulated a combined expected goal XG total of 12.35. In that time, only Brighton, Liverpool, City and Arsenal have amassed higher. So the 5th, I think Everton's 6th in the form table since Dyche took over. It's 3 wins, 2 draws and 3 defeats, isn't it? So
there's a consistency of performance now, I think, that we're seeing more and more of. And there's a bit more belief, I think, in the players themselves, even if they go behind, that they can come back into the game. Whereas I think before, we almost felt like when Dyche came in, it was like, if you got the first goal, we've got a good chance of winning it. But if we lose the first goal, then we're probably getting beat. So they're growing in confidence. They obviously trust the decisions he makes. And I think fans are starting to trust the process as well. And listen, we are where we were last week, but other teams around us are obviously, some of them are not picking up points and some of them are starting to go on bad runs, and as long as we keep on picking up points and hopefully winning the home games and hopefully trying to pick up a point away from home, we're edging closer, aren't we, to where we want to be?
Yeah, I mean, we're in 15th place just looking at the league, but obviously we're a point off Palace, who are in 12th. And okay, we're 2 points ahead of West Ham, we're 3rd bottom at the moment. We're just in the mix, aren't we? We've lost Bournemouth, Southampton, Leicester have all lost more than us. Wolves have all lost more games than us. Only Wolves and Leicester have won more than us in that bottom 9, whatever, bottom 8, 9. That's only 1 game. So we give ourselves a fighting chance. We're battling that 3-game unbeaten run. Now can we stretch it to 4? Spurs at home, they're in. Richarlison looks like he might miss the Everton game. They're in a little bit of Conte having a meltdown again. Will he still be there in 2 weeks? We don't know. And then we go to United and, Fulham. For 68 minutes yesterday, Fulham were the better team until he imploded by simply frustrating United and hitting them on the counter. Now, Everton, what you feel now is all of a sudden you look at those 2 games and you go, tell you what, we could get. It's a big ask as well, but we could get 4 points out of those 2 games. Not say we would, but we could. You're looking at it going, we could. The Spurs at home will be tough. We don't beat them. We haven't beat them at home since 2012 in the league. So it's not a game we win very often, but with our crowd on Monday night, we need the points. They're in a little bit of they're in a funny place at the moment, Spurs. They're not really playing great. You've obviously got the threat of Kane, Son and Kulusevski up front, but so who knows? But at least we're giving ourselves a fighting chance in every game. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Let's have a look at the stats from the game. 20 shots to 12, 7 on target to our 3, 1 big chances. Everton had 3 big chances. 31% possession for Everton, just 7% below the sweet spot. And
but even that though, 12 attempts at goal away from home. You know, we were having 4s and 5s. We've had 3 big chances in the game. You know, you take them, you're talking about a great win. But listen, we're not complaining.
No, not
it's
at all.
A really good point against a team who will get better and better. So we take it. We've got a couple of weeks.
No, we'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take that all day. Right, we are continuing over on Toffee TV Premier, where we're currently live. If you would like to join us on Toffee TV Premier, the link is in the description. And the QR code is coming up on the screen in a moment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.